Welcome to the Star Wars Fandolorians podcast, where every week we talk about the latest trends in Star Wars, newest episodes and movies and all that kind of stuff. We love to rip on each other a little bit and talk about vintage Star Wars toys and adventures of days gone by. So, with all that said, here are your hosts, us, Kevin and Craig.
Hi, I'm Craig, and this is Kevin, and we are the Fandolorians, and we're here to talk about the season finale of season 2. And there were a lot of exciting things in this episode. And I think you even said to me you thought this was your favorite episode of all time.
I think it was my favorite Mandalorian episode. Season 1, season 2, yeah, and I for a lot of reasons, but you posted a meme on the Fandolorians Facebook page earlier this week that pretty much kind of nailed it in short form. And basically that was that they said that it couldn't be done, that they couldn't satisfy the new fans and the old fans. And by God, if Favreau didn't do it in this one, he never will. I mean, he just never will. Because here's the thing for me. I'm not gonna. We'll dive deep into this episode, I'm sure, but I'm just gonna say this. This is the first time that a Star Wars movie actually got to me, like emotional, or any kind of Star Wars feature of any kind actually got to me since the original trilogy. I mean, I think for you it might have been Rogue One.
Yeah.
I think that was kind of your like moment, but this for me, and I don't know necessarily why, but when Luke showed up, before I even saw his face, I was overjoyed. Like I actually teared up a little bit, man. I was so excited. And the whole time I was watching it, though, because you and I didn't get to watch this one together, but the whole time I was watching it, I was thinking, man, Craig said something about Luke Skywalker coming back.
I was actually right about something.
Yeah, I know. Imagine that.
Hey, you throw enough dirty underwear to the wall, something's going to stick. And there it is. So, yeah, I mean, the moment I figured out it was Luke was not exactly when the X-Wing came in, but right after Cara Dune says, a single X-Wing were saved. And then that just triggered something in my head. And I was like, wait a minute, a single X-Wing, it's got to be him.
Right.
And I was like, that's when I figured out it probably was him.
But it's so funny. It is so funny because I'm putting so many of these pieces together in my head. And, when I saw the X-Wing at first, the first thing I thought was, oh, here come the New Republic State Troopers.
Yeah. Well, I thought maybe it was just like a reconnaissance ship and the fleet was going to be behind them, maybe.
Yeah.
Coming in after, but then I realized,
It was such a good episode. I mean, all the way through, beginning to end. I don't know. It was just such an emotional episode for me at the end of it. And I think everybody has their own reasons that they were emotional at the end of it. I mean, I know there were a ton of Baby Yoda fans or Grogu fans who were through the roof because they were like, what are you doing to Baby Yoda? What are you doing to Grogu? Where's he going?
Taking him away from us.
They were sad. They were sad for their own reasons. But for me, it was more tears of joy because I actually saw the reunification of Star Wars in my mind anyway. Like I really saw the old Star Wars harken through in this. And when I saw Luke, what they did with that CGI.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Even my wife who is not a huge Star Wars fan was like, holy shit. They really, I mean, that was about as legit as you can get. I mean, I don't even know what to say.
My wife had a big smile on her face too. She was like, oh, that's awesome. She was looking at it like, that was a good job. And it would just look so good. It looked just like him when he was younger.
Yeah. And
incredible.
Yeah, so the guy that they got to play the body double for Luke was actually pretty cool. It was a guy named Max Lloyd Jones. I guess he's been in some other stuff as well. But the face alteration they did on him in post production was nuts. I mean, I dare say that was as good as the Leia moment that we had in the recent trilogy. But
yeah.
I you know.
I mean, the technology and the special effects technology they have now is incredible that they can do that. It's pretty cool.
Just insane. Insane.
I love it.
Yep. And I'm this has got me so excited now to see what's coming up, because before I was kind of excited about some of these spin-off series a little bit. I was, starting to get there, but now after I see what they've done here and where they're kind of taking this, it's going to be interesting, because now this also begs another question. What are they going to do? Are they going to have? They are having a Mandalorian season 3, I understand.
Oh yeah, it's kind of weird because I guess they're actually going to have it come out around the same time as the Boba Fett series.
Right, and that's why I was a little confused. I'm like, are they just going to have the Boba Fett series come out in December of next year, or are they going to have both, or what's the deal? So
it's supposed to be both, I believe. We got to wait a year for Mando, unfortunately, which is really going to be brutal.
Yeah, well, it's like Game of Thrones, man. That was awful.
Yeah,
the weights on that were awful too.
Brutal too. But I wish they could have staggered it so that we could have had one of them maybe in the summer, and then during Christmas time or whatever.
Yeah, well, and I think there's something that I loved about, and even though I was not a humongous fan of the newer movies, the latest trilogy, there was something I loved about having it released around Christmas time. There was something that just
it was like it was like a Christmas present to you or something.
It really was. It was just kind of something kind of special
like
about
the magical time of year, I guess.
Yep. It's just funny.
But speaking of the new trilogy, also, this was like kind of bittersweet for me. The whole like seeing Luke such a badass and like how he's supposed to be.
I loved it.
I loved it too. It was great, and it was just like, yes, Luke has like the Jedi, and he's like fully mastered his powers and everything like that. And then it just made me sad when I thought back to the new trilogy of like what a waste that the road they went down with him. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I wish they just kept him like this.
Yep. Well, and I get that, by the time we're in the newer trilogy, he's an older guy. I get that. I do. That's not lost on me.
He's like, get off my planet, like get off my lawn.
Yeah. Literally, man.
I guess he really did turn into an older crotchety guy.
They turned him into Clint Eastwood.
They did.
Clint Eastwood with a lightsaber. When he tossed that lightsaber over his shoulder, I was like, what?
Oh yeah.
So anyway, going back to this, so yeah, you're right though. It felt like it was a little bit of a bittersweet moment, but man, I watched that part of the episode, the whole end part. I think I watched that like 3 or 4 times. I loved it so much.
Remember how they had hashtag "This is not my Luke Skywalker" during the hashtag "This is my Luke Skywalker."
Yeah, dude. This is it. This is the Luke Skywalker that we all wanted to see when we were kids. Like, we wanted another movie past Return of the Jedi where he came back like this.
Right.
That's what we wanted.
Yeah.
That's why I'm excited.
We wanted to see more of the Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, man. Yeah. For sure. This is what we've been waiting for. This is what I've been waiting for anyway. I can't speak for every single Star Wars fan out there. I'm a huge Han Solo fan too. You know that. But I'm not going to sit here and say, we've had enough of him either. I'm just saying that this is what we wanted. We wanted more Jedi, and we wanted more green lightsaber, and we wanted more dark robe over. This is what we waited for. This is what we wanted the whole time. And boy, am I excited. I feel like a kid on Christmas morning because I know what's coming down the pike.
Well, that's just it. Like you said, where do they go from here? It's going to be interesting to see how they go on with Mando separated from Grogu.
Yep.
And are they gonna flash to Grogu being trained, or sometimes I don't know. Who knows?
I have no idea where they're going with this from the Mandalorian perspective. Like I have no idea what they're going to do with that show. I'm not 100% sure that the people who watch The Mandalorian are going to like where they go with this show. I don't know. You know, I don't know. But I do know that if that ending scene with Luke Skywalker was any indication of what we have to look forward to, I'm excited for the future of Star Wars. For the first time in a long time, I'm excited for what's to come. And you know, I have sat here and watched these people, because now we've got all, and I'm kind of sidetracking here a little bit when I'm talking about this, but we have all these people with all the new Marvel movies that Disney is going to be putting out, and they're poo-pooing on them already. They're poo-pooing on them, and they're saying, "Oh, this is ruining Marvel, and this is the end of Marvel as we know it." And I'm like, "Oh, I know, it's awful. It's just awful that people are poo-pooing on it so much already. They haven't even dug in yet, and they're poo-pooing it." And I think it's purely because, I mean, like, Star Wars fans, I think there were a lot of Star Wars fans that did poo-poo it when Disney bought into it. But I think by and large, the most people have come around, at least to some extent now. Maybe not during the trilogy that they just made, but at least now during The Mandalorian, because this has been a game changer in my opinion, a complete game changer, completely.
Yep.
So I mean, but like you said, they wasted millions of dollars, man, millions of dollars trying to satisfy fans, and
you can totally see it.
It's so bad.
Awesome. The money they put into this.
Yeah. They if they had taken, they might as well have just made 3 Mandalorian movies.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Seriously, you know, I don't know. It was like they were trying to draw in this whole new crowd, and I get that, but I don't know. I don't know. I just have a hard time with it.
So I also had a little moment where I was like, "Oh no!" When Casca Reeves confronts Boba Fett with that little diss, she's like, "I didn't know sidekicks were allowed to talk."
Oh yeah,
and I was like,
I will kick her ass.
Oh, you say that to Boba Fett, really?
I was, but you know what I noticed, man? It's so funny. Listen, I love Boba Fett, especially in this series. I think he's, they brought him back in just the right way. I really do.
Like he kind of grew a heart a little bit.
Yep, a little bit.
So he didn't turn on my other speculation. He didn't happen.
No,
he didn't turn on Mando, which was cool.
No, and I think, you know, in retrospect, I was thinking about your comment about that. I'm like, if they do that, they're going to take away I think they're going to take away a lot of fans from him having his own series or his own, you know, movie series or anything like that.
You were thinking out of character.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but here's the thing. Here's the thing, though, is that he is one of the he's the most badass bounty hunter in the galaxy, right? That's how we always have known him. So I'm not sure how many people noticed it, but at the end, and I know we're bouncing around all over the place here, but at the end of that episode, did you watch the extended end of this final episode?
What? I probably wouldn't have if you hadn't messaged me and told me stay for after the credits.
Yeah, man.
I don't stay for after the credits.
I never do.
So what made you this time?
Because when I was watching it on the computer, and I noticed that there was a huge timeline left on the thing, and I'm like, that's weird. So I just fast forwarded through the like actual credits, and then I saw it come up, and yeah, I mean, it just you know, there's. I don't know what else I can say other than that. I think the way that they're lining this up is the way that Boba Fett should have been done. Like I feel like, you know, he should have had Jabba's castle after all of that.
Yeah.
I really feel like this is kind of retribution, and now he's going to take his place as the badass in the galaxy.
George Lucas really did Boba Fett a disservice for sure. I mean, he's like he acted like he was a throwaway character to him,
which is garbage. Because, and quite honestly, you know, if we think about it, there were a lot of people that liked him as a character, but there were a lot of people that liked Bosk. They never went anywhere with that. You know, there were a lot of characters like that I think he threw away that he really
could have expanded on,
could have done something with, or maybe he had no intention of doing anything with, but no.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is just so much validation now for Boba Fett and for Boba Fett fans, just to see him how much of a kick-ass he is, you know, how good he is with his melee weapons, with his blaster, with all his little gadgets. You didn't get to see any of that like in Return of the Jedi.
No, and I you know, it's funny because after this last episode, I immediately like ended the episode and went and watched Return of the Jedi, or at least like I didn't get all the way through it, but I got through the part where the Sarlacc pit was. And I was just like, yeah, they really did him wrong, you know, and not just him, but like, I mean, the entire saga at that point. But you know, retribution, like you said.
Yeah.
So,
and then we got. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to talk about, unless you have something else to talk about Boba.
No.
Yeah. All right, and then the Dark Troopers, which I was suspecting that these guys were robotic because it just looked like too many gears and parts for a person to fit into the suit.
Well, and when they said that the final piece was to
remove
get
the
rid of
human
the
element or something.
Yeah. I'm like, man, that's just downright creepy, you know.
And that scene where he's trying to stop them from coming out the door.
Oh my god, dude!
And that one gets out and starts smash. Oh man, smashed him right in the helmet, and it looked like you could actually see a little dent in the Beskar. I was like,
and his head just kept going back. And I'm like, I was. Dude, I've never been on the edge of my seat like that. I don't think with any other episode either. And that's the other reason that I love this episode.
And then you're thinking, if the rest of those Dark Troopers get out there, he's done.
Right. Yeah. No, exactly. And I mean, so when he flushed him out, I knew they'd be back though, because they all have jetpacks. And
I was thinking, you know, that was really I was like, that was anticlimactic when they flushed him out. And I'm like, that was over too short. That was too soon.
Yeah, I knew they'd be back. I was
like, whose brilliant idea was it to put the Dark Troopers in an airlock? That's what I was
valid point.
Yeah,
that really was kind of convenient.
But I mean, we've seen some Imperial bozos over the years, and it was just another like blunder, I guess, by somebody. Yeah, let's put them right in the airlock. What could go wrong?
Yep.
Yeah, at least like you said, they could fly back though. So
well, and I mean that there were some really good action scenes in this all the way through. I could go back and watch that part again with Luke where he shows up, and I could watch that again and again and again, man.
Well,
again and again and again.
Yeah, I usually watch each episode twice right off the bat on the same day.
Yep.
Because I see it once, I can't wait. And then I see it when my wife comes home and we watch it together too.
Yeah.
And then I got my 7-year-old starting to spoil things because he's watched it with me the first time. And so this time,
all right, buddy.
this time I was like, listen, buddy, don't spoil who's coming later. All right. Don't say who it is, please. And I totally thought he was gonna, but he was good. He didn't do it. I was like, cool.
Hey, mommy, guess what?
Yeah, that's exactly what happens. It happened every time. I was like,
you're gonna love what happens when Luke Skywalker shows up. What?
No,
no,
don't ruin it.
And you know that's how it happens too, because it happens in my house too. I got a 9-year-old and she still does it. So
oh yeah, even grown-ups do it too.
I don't do that. What are you talking about?
Not all grown-ups. So yeah, and then we saw the big showdown with Moff Gideon, where we knew that Beskar spear would come into play.
I felt like I honestly felt like the whole showdown with Moff Gideon was a little bit anticlimactic, a little bit of a letdown. And I'm not disparaging the whole fact that they used the Beskar spear and all that, and I think the way it played out was right, but I feel like it was missing something. I don't know how to describe it, but I feel like there might have been they could have had that battle go a little bit more or something. I don't know.
Yeah. It seemed like he was.
But I'm not. But
he was such an awesome villain, and it seemed like he went down too quickly. Maybe
that's. I think that's the hardest part for me. But also, if you think about it in retrospect, he doesn't have force powers.
Right,
so
right.
He had the dark saber, yeah, but he doesn't have force powers. So
I love the part in the fight where he like Mando shoots his little like cable. Yeah. And he's just like, then Moff Gideon just takes the dark saber. He's like, "Oh, get out of here with that." Yeah. That was awesome. I was like, "Oh, your little toys aren't gonna work." That was pretty cool.
No, when he fired off, actually what got me was when he fired off the multiple wrist rocket thing.
Oh yeah.
And I forget what that's called, but
the whistling birds.
The whistling birds. That's right. When he fired that off, and they all hit that dark trooper, and the dark trooper didn't go down. I was like, you could see it like getting in there, and like
yeah.
But it didn't take him down. So
it really showed how versatile those things were. Yeah, and you were like, man, if they get a whole army of these, like they have, out there after them, they're all done.
Yep. So I guess that begs the question now. Now that Moff Gideon is gone, who else is out there?
Thrawn. They've already.
But who else beyond Thrawn though?
Oh, beyond Thrawn.
Because how many of these henchmen do we have?
I mean, you mean people under Thrawn?
Yeah.
Oh, I have no idea. They could have countless.
That's what I'm saying.
It could be countless people under Thrawn.
And somebody said. The reason I'm bringing that up is because somebody had said back, I think when they were making the original trilogy, or not the original trilogy, rather the newer trilogy, when they were making like Force Awakens, I think it was, they said they made some comment about, how long do you guys plan on making movies? And Disney or Lucasfilm made some comment about, we have endless ideas or endless possibilities or something like that. And that's the thing, is you've always got to have a bad guy, right?
Yeah.
You've always got to have a bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm wondering is, who's the next bad guy, and how are they going to line that up? And are there people maybe we're not thinking of here? So
good point.
Food for thought. That's all. So.
And do you think they're going to expand on the whole Mandalore thing, or they're just going to keep that in the background?
I think that's another I think that's another side story. I think that may turn they may maybe turn the Mandalorian more into that side story. I don't know, because they could they could keep that whole side story going there. Then they could have. See, I'm really wondering what they're going to do with the whole Luke and Grogu thing here. Are they gonna create a whole different?
Like, how are they gonna? I'm
hoping it's a whole new series of movies. That's what I want, is a whole new series of movies based around those characters.
I'm thinking they're probably not going to show Luke too much. You
think so?
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking they might just come back to him once in a while and show something, or like maybe some training, or with Grogu. Maybe they'll show the school, which would be really cool.
Yeah,
I would love that if they showed Luke's school. For the Jedi.
I wonder. I mean, it's just the way they ended that episode. I'm just sitting there, playing it out in my head. They just left.
With so many questions, and
they just left.
They're
just gone.
They're gonna go. Yeah, they just took off. Oh, and R2, that was great seeing R2.
Oh yeah, I think that was the other emotional moment for me too. Was like, first it was Luke, and then when R2 showed up, it was like that
was cool.
It was so cool. It was so cool. Yeah, I'm excited. I probably use that word more in this episode than any other episode that we've done. I'm so excited for the future of everything Star Wars that's coming. at this point, you know. And I don't care who poo-poos it. I don't care what they have to say, because I feel like as a original, original fan, like
we are
77, 78,
fans.
79, baby.
Yep.
Okay. I'm right there with Craig. And I think that at this point, I feel like they brought things a little bit more full circle for us, so that we can kind of see the bigger picture coming down the pike of what they're hopefully going to do. Now, that doesn't mean they're gonna, but if Favreau stays on, and like I said before, if they have him direct things, if they have him produce, actually good quality content, then I feel like we're gonna have some awesome movies coming up. I really do. And I mean, maybe The Mandalorian will continue on being as awesome as it always has. I have no idea, but
Well, as long as he's in charge, I think it's in good hands. It's definitely in good hands. We've seen it. So I have total faith that he's going to keep going with it. It's going to be good.
Yeah.
But I did see one thing, though. There was a glaring inconsistency in this episode, and I don't know if, I'm still confused about it. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know if it was an oversight by Favreau, because he did write this. Said he wrote this episode specifically. So basically, with the Darksaber, remember when Mando brings Moff Gideon in as a captive into the bridge?
Mm-hmm.
And so Mando's got the Darksaber, and Moff Gideon's like, ha, and he's like kind of laughing about it. And they're like wondering, what's this about? And then Moff Gideon says that, she can only, Bo-Katan can only accept the Darksaber through combat, and she has to defeat the person who owns the Darksaber, which is now Mando. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's not true with the lore. With in Clone Wars, Sabine Wren gave the Darksaber over to Bo-Katan, and she accepted it. And there was no duel or fight like that. So that was an inconsistency that I was like, I don't know if it was an oversight. He didn't see it, or he didn't think about it, or he's trying to change something. I don't know.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it's not, it doesn't keep me up.
You're going to be a problem, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm one of those guys.
We need to take him out.
Ooh.
Can't have people running around here ruining our story.
Oh, maybe somebody knows something I don't and can leave a comment.
Hey, if I were you, I'd keep my mouth shut.
All right, I'll be a good boy now, and I'll just go along with the crowd, and I won't question anything I see. It was all good. It was like it was fun.
Well, I know that there, and we've talked about this numerous times. I think there's always going to be somebody running around going, "That's not right. That's not accurate." There's always going to be.
I'm not upset about it. I just wanted to point it out that it was just like a little inconsistency. It's
a valid point. It's very interesting.
It's not like you said. It's not like a major problem.
No,
it's not like if this was like a huge thing where they screwed up something big. Then but this is just a little tiny, it's really not that bad.
Yeah.
Something I noticed.
I would love to see how, because maybe there is more to the reasoning behind that in this specific instance that we're not aware of. I don't know. Hopefully, I don't know. To me, it's neither here nor there at the end of the day, like you said, but yeah.
Oh, and this isn't necessarily a problem I have with it, but I really think Favreau should have done the whole taking off the helmet scene. This should have been the first time instead of that other episode. If this had been the first time Mando had taken off his helmet, I think it would have been even 10 times more emotional. And it would have been even so huge.
Yeah, and to have it the episode right before.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know. Yeah, it's something. I think maybe he must have even realized after the fact that he made a mistake there. He must have.
Well,
I don't know.
I believe someone else wrote most of that episode where he took the helmet off the first time.
Yeah,
and maybe he didn't correct it or whatever, or just think it was a big deal. I don't know.
And this is why you need one freaking director. This is why you shouldn't involve these other imposters into Favreau's material, because clearly after this last episode, we know that he has the right direction, he has the right skills, and I don't want to see anybody else messing that up.
No,
am I clear, Lucasfilm and Disney?
All right, the way I look at it is I have no problem with like most of the other directors. They did great jobs with the scenes, with like a lot of the writing, with the action, everything like that. What they should have, which I believe he should just be, he's a producer too, right? Favreau. So he should just be like the total overseer, which I believe he is. But at the end of the day, he should just go back and say, okay, we just got to change this one thing here and do this and that. And if he had done that with the helmet scene, that would have been great. You know,
but it just goes to show you. And
I have a problem with, I
wonder if the inconsistencies that we saw in the last 3 movies were not only because of people like RJ, I'm not even going to say his damn name here,
but if they RJ were now,
right, just dickwad, whatever you want to call him,
he doesn't deserve a title.
My point is, I wonder if it's because they had all these different hands in the pot, and I think that's what I'm getting at. Is there's too many cooks in the kitchen here. Let's reel it in, and get ourselves a nice 1, 2, 3 set of cooks that know how to cook well together, and keep them on task. You know, keep them on point. And I think Favreau should be the one in charge of keeping them on point, because, like I said, everything that we've ever seen him do throughout this whole series has been increasingly magnificent. And I don't care what anyone says. It's just a fact that no one has directed anything Star Wars as good as he has in recent years. I mean, yeah. That's all I can say about that.
Basically, like, I don't have a problem with other directors in here, as long as I think a huge criteria that they have to meet is they have to be big Star Wars fans.
Well, no, see, we can't just leave it to that, because that was what RJ's whole shtick was when they brought him on Good Morning America, whatever the hell it was.
He must have been a pretender. I think he was BSing us.
Well, that's part of the problem.
Maybe they'll have to take an exam or something. A Star Wars test.
People aren't going to like me for saying this. But it's so true. It's so true. I think from this point on, everything Star Wars that is produced by Disney or put out by Disney or put out by Lucasfilm should have Dave Filoni is great. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah.
He has great ideas. He's a real true fan. He's proven that over and over and over again. But I think that from what we've seen in the last 2 seasons of The Mandalorian, Favreau has proven to me, at least, that I don't think that anybody directs it quite the way he does, and I think that's the thing, is he needs to be. It needs to be like him, Filoni, and who was the other one? There was another guy they had that was directing and producing this season. I don't know, but whoever was involved this season, if they had worked together on it, I think we might not have seen things like the mask thing. There were no real inconsistencies to it.
No, there wasn't. It would have been such a better moment if this had been the first time he took his helmet off.
Yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Because that connection with Grogu,
Luke and I agree.
That's good. Well, me and Boba agree as well.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, that connection with Grogu that he has, it would have just been like, look, this connection that he has with the child is so intense and so strong in this relationship that he's gonna take his helmet off for the first time ever in front of all these people.
Yep.
You know, and he welled up. He was tearing up. That was just like such an emotional scene.
Yeah.
It was just
I'm kind of surprised that they left it like they did, and but at the same time, I'm very curious how they're going to go.
Yeah, it's basically where do they go from here? I'm definitely so curious to see,
because there's so many different ways. It's
I know, you could go anywhere.
Yep.
Totally.
Yep. And then I mean the thing that I'm most curious about is how they move forward with Luke's character, because Luke in this episode, all right, we didn't see his face much. We only saw that little bit. So how do they move forward with that? Because they're not going to CGI his face the whole time.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think Luke's going to have a major part in this series going forward.
I
mean, I'd love it, but I think it's the Mandalorian, not the Luke Skywalker show.
I think they will reprise Luke.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm maybe not in the Mandalorian, maybe in movies,
yeah.
But I think they're actually going to have another character. The guy who plays his body double, believe it or not, if you see his face, he's not far off from a young Mark Hamill.
Nice.
That's all I'm saying, man. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
It could be done, and I think as long as we're done in an acceptable manner, I think people would accept it. But it would really have to be done tastefully, respectfully, and you'd have to make him a badass. There's no other way it would be acceptable, I don't think, to any old Star Wars fan. And I mean, it would be tough for me, I think, even at first to accept it. But where we are in the timeline, I mean, they have a lot of gap there after the Mandalorian, before anything else. So we've got a huge gap in the timeline we've got to fill.
We've got a lot of room before the nightmare begins again.
You just listening to a couple of fanboys go off here for about 45 minutes on this episode is really what you're listening to. There's nothing to review because it was the most awesome episode of the show ever, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, it was good, really good.
So I believe you're still whipping my ass.
No. Remember, we tied it up.
We did?
Because I gave you.
Oh yeah, you gave me the freebie.
Kind of gave you a little freebie there.
God.
I won't do that again. Once you answer a question, if it's wrong, it's wrong.
All right then.
All right.
So you want to go first? You want me to go first?
I'll go first.
You go first.
All right, here we go. What, according to R2D2, were the chances of surviving the harsh night weather of Hoth?
Wait, say that one more time.
What, according to R2D2, were the chances of surviving the harsh night weather of Hoth? What were the odds? What were the odds? Never tell me the odds.
Man. I'm going to say 1 in 70,000. Oh, actually, wait a minute. I have a multiple choice, right?
You do have a multiple choice, which is worth less. But
I'll take the multiple choice.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
A, is it 893 to 1? B, 1,298 to 1? C, 725 to 1? Or D, 3,720 to 1? Yeah, this wasn't
what was the one that was 1,000 something?
1,298 to 1.
Yeah, I'll take that. I mean, that's just
this wasn't an easy one for sure. Even though you told me you've seen Empire a billion times, but
not as many as you.
But I wouldn't have even known this one either.
No.
I might have been able to guess it, but I don't know. It was C, 728 to 1.
725.
My bad.
725.
So yeah, that seems a lot lower than when they were going into the asteroid field. I think it was a higher number.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
So that's what I thought.
That's the one that I keep thinking of. I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So this number was kind of low compared to some of the other statistics he's quoted.
I just yeah, that was tough, man.
Yeah, that was a tough one. What do you got?
Right. I could hit you one with a really hard one, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna be nicer than that.
Well, don't be too nice. I know it's getting near Christmas, but
Yeah, I'm not gifting you anything here.
Well, I did last week, so
yeah. I'll give you one that might trip you up. We'll see.
All right.
All right. How old is Yoda when he finally succumbs to the Force?
Oh man, I wonder if they want the exact number. Because I know.
I can give you multiple choice if you want.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to do multiple choice because I know roughly how old, but I don't know the exact year.
Let me. I'll give you one hint. It is the number that Yoda uses in the movie.
All right. Well, I thought he said 900.
Yep, I believe you are correct. I'm going to double check it. Ding, ding, ding.
All right. I
didn't even give you the multiple choice.
I didn't know if it was 900 on the dot or they wanted 934 or something,
When 900, I can't even do the voice. Yeah. When 900 years old you reach, look as good you will not.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what he says. That's how I remembered that one.
Yep.
But I didn't know if it was 900 exactly or if it was like a 900 and something number.
I will give you one more trivia question though.
Okay.
As because I'm curious to see what I think you know this anyway, and I think most original Star Wars fans will know this, but where does Luke hide his lightsaber?
In R2.
Thank you.
That was too easy.
That was easy. I don't know. Like I said, that was just whatever, but it was on the screen, so I said, well, I'm going to ask it anyway. And
you never know. You could get me with a brain fart. It could happen. It's been known to happen.
I know we have fans that have not necessarily watched the older movies like a million times either. So I just wanted to throw that one out there. So yeah, Craig and I are going to take a week off, and we're going to put our thoughts together on where we want to go with the show. We'll be doing some different format type of stuff, obviously, because there is no Mandalorian to review now.
Right. So now we're going into uncharted territory ourselves.
Yeah. So we'll see what we'll see. What we'll see. So, yeah.
So, yeah. We'll have happy holidays, everybody.
Yes. Have a happy holidays, and make sure that you like this on YouTube. Make sure you're following us. Make sure all the things. Subscribe,
Spotify,
like it, share it. Spotify,
Apple,
iTunes.
Yep.
All the good things. Follow us everywhere. We are on Facebook. Craig incessantly posts funny stuff on there, so I think it's good if you are like our Facebook page. You'll get some good stuff there too.
Yeah. If you miss us, you can always go there and reminisce about our last show.
Nobody's going to miss us. Who are you kidding? We don't have that many fans.
Not yet.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, thank you again for listening, watching, whatever it was you did this week. And we will see you next time on the Fandolorians.